Hi guys, and welcome back to Byochem. I'd like you to believe that it's been a long time since the last of my video, but it was 5 minutes ago. I put a hat on to make it look like I look a bit different for people who look at me and think I'm a tramp wearing the same t-shirt, but hey, it's the same day, so get over it. Okay, so it's my first video, and I'll be talking to you about Enantiomers and Diastereoisomers, but before I start, I feel like I need a little bit of luck from Mr. Buddy here, so I'm gonna... Is it his belly or his ears that you... Anyway, I'll just rub them both, so I'll get money as well. That's cool. Christmas is around the corner. I could do with some money. And also, before I start, I would like to say that I'm never, ever, ever wearing those sodding gloves again in this video, even for your amusement. Just know, because my hands, they still sort of smell. I'm not doing that again. That's not cool. Anyway, on with the show. Right, so, enantiomers. What are enantiomers? They're a pair of molecules that are, that have mirror images of each other, and I've made you some here, okay? Now, this is the first one that I've made for you, and if you see you've got a carbon atom with a hydroxyl group, a halogen, let's just call it chlorine for argument's sake, a methyl group. I've missed all the hydrogens, I'll do that a lot, but it's so you can actually see the atoms, and a hydrogen. And the other one, just to prove that they are different, and there are two, there's a carbon atom with a hydroxyl group, a hydrogen on it, it's got another chlorine and a CH3 again. But they are different, and they are called optical isomers or enantiomers. I prefer optical isomer, but my lecturer prefers enantiomer, so we'll use enantiomer. Okay, so if I put the same group on the top, I've put the hydroxyl group on the top, and I put the same group at the front. I'll put the hydrogen at the front, so I'll move back a bit so you can see. Okay? Have you noticed that if you look at them, and you look at the back two molecules, I'll turn them around so that they're the same, the methyl are pointing the opposite way. And that's exactly what it is. They're exactly the same sort of molecular formula, but they've got a different arrangement in space. As you can see when you put two molecules together, and you see that the green goes one way, and the black goes the other, and the green goes one way, and the black goes the other. They're not the same, but they look the same. And actually they react in exactly the same way usually. They have the same physical properties like melting point and boiling point and solubility. But there is one thing in which they differ in, and they differ in when you shine plain polarised light on them. And when you do that, one of the enantiomers will turn them in a magnitude one way, in one direction, so to the right, and the other will turn it to the same magnitude, but to the left. And when you've got a 50-50 mixture, the light actually won't be changed at all in any way, because it will go half that way and then back that way, so it'll just be the same. But unless we call that a raceme mixture when it's 50-50, and when it's not, you'll be able to detect the concentration of one enantiomer over the other because of what you've got, because of the change. So that's how you tell between them. Now, this may seem very chemical, and like you're thinking, Chris, you do biochemistry, you don't do chemistry. But actually, it's very interesting because if you think about it, 19 out of the 20 amino acids, which that's biology, I might just add, are chiral. So you're going to have this problem a lot in every protein that you've got. So it's urgent that you make them in the right way. And that's why we need to be able to tell them apart from each other, because they look the same, don't they? So let's tell them apart. So what you do is you label, to tell them apart, you label each group in mass order. So, chlorine, and this one, 35.5, weighs the most. Oxygen, 16, the second. You only take oxygen, you do not take hydrogen, unless there was another oxygen on the molecule. Then you'd go for carbon, because that's 12, and then hydrogen, because that's 1. Slowly going down the mass. Now, always take the one with the least mass, in this case hydrogen, and put it at the back of the molecule. Do that. And then what you can do is you can look and you see here, this is your heaviest, and your second heaviest, and the lightest. And you see you're going around in this direction. Now that is clockwise, and we call clockwise R, the R enantiomer. Okay? And if you look at the opposite one, I've taken the hydrogen again and put it at the back, you're going the other way around. You're going this way around, which is... No, you're not. You're going that way around, which is anti-clockwise. So you've got the S enantiomer. Now, R and S is a system that makes sense to me, because R means rectus, which in Latin means right, and S is sinister, which is left. But biochemists don't use R and S, that's chemists that use that. We use L and D. So R, which is, I think sort of this one, clockwise, yeah, it's that one. That is D, and this one is L. Okay, and that's just what biochemists do. It's actually a worse system, but it's better because it's biochemistry, and chemistry is rubbish. Yeah, go for that. So, that's pretty much enantiomers, and that's where you draw them. Now, I've ignored this type of stereoisomer. I've missed cis and trans, and because it's from A level, you haven't really gained anything from it, other than the naming process, which is exactly the same as that. So, for your benefit, I'm going to not name it, but give it the R and S or L and D enantiomer. So, if you just ignore one side and look at one side, look at the other side, sorry, you have a CH3 group and a hydrogen. The CH group weighs more than the hydrogen, so that's group 1 and that's group 2, so whole group 1, because that's the most important. We look at the other side and ignore this side, you've got 35.5 and 16. This is more important. Therefore, you can see you have a trans arrangement here. Not cis, you have trans. So that is a trans isomer, and the other one, which I have right next to me here, again, you look at one side, and we know it's the methyl group, so just worked it out, and we know it's this one because we just worked it out. We have a cis formation here. So this is a cis isomer, and this is a trans isomer. That is pretty much as difficult as it gets, and that's why I've not really looked at them, because you must have learned about pi bonds and sigma bonds before, and that's something that, you know, you should be okay with, even at A level really, so that's why I'm not getting into that. Okay, so the last part of this whole talk is on diastereoisomers, which is one hell of a mouthful, but really diastereoisomers are pretty much the same as optical isomers, except that you've got two chiral carbons, diastereoisomer, di being two. That just makes sense to me. So, take the two stereoisomers that we had, remove a group. I'll remove a hydroxyl from this one, and a methyl from that one, and shove them together, like this. I've made a diastereoisomer, because you've got two chiral carbons, one on each side. Okay? Now, as we've just learned, you can have either side as R and S. So this will have 4 different configurations. Because you can have R and R at that side, S and S, R and S, or R and S. You can have 4 different configurations. But that only works if you've got 4 different groups. Yes, exactly. So if I take them back apart again, and I'll put the hydroxyl back on that one, and if I take the methyl, so basically what I've done is I've taken the methyl off both groups, and so now you've got a hydroxyl hydrogen and a chlorine, hydroxyl hydrogen and a chlorine. So what you can have, as we just said, again, you can have R and R, S and S, but you can't have RS and RS, because they are symmetrical. So R and S and R and S are the same. So actually you only have 3 isomers here, and you have 2 optical isomers and 1 mesoisomer, and the mesoisomer is this one where you've got the symmetry. And that is pretty much this talk over with, because that was pretty simple really. I thought I'd start with something easy before getting onto things that are horrible. So yeah, what did you guys think of that? Was that okay? Was that crazy enough? I don't really know. Yeah, so what did you guys think? Please give me a comment, and I will make another video soon. Look, I also meant to get this and I forgot. Look, it's a guy spinning around, because it's science and entertaining, but you don't seem that entertained. So yeah, I'll see you soon, and I'll comment on something else in biochemistry world. Maybe, I don't know, maybe mass spec, because I don't like mass spec. It's too hard. We'll see what that's like. So yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you soon.